There is one truth in particular that many men are not prepared to hear. A woman does not love the way you love. She never has, not out of malice or deceit, but because her internal logic, her emotional architecture responds to a system that is not yours while you build castles in the air, dreaming of eternity. She evaluates, selects, adapts, while you love from a deep yearning for fusion. She acts according to something older, more biological, more pragmatic, but you didn't know that. No one told you. Since childhood, you were taught that one day she would appear the right one. You are fed stories where love heals everything, where sacrifice is always rewarded, and where if you give it your all, you'll receive the same in return. You were told persistence was romantic, that crying for love was noble, that surrendering completely was the right thing to do. But they didn't tell you the most important part, that the kind of love you expect, the one that gives itself unconditionally and forever, is not the one that often governs how many women choose and love. Carl Jung saw it with brutal clarity. He wrote without decoration, without the softening of poets or the sweetness of novelists. What the world calls romantic love is, for the most part, a mirage. A social construction that dulls the man, distracts him from his essence, domesticates him with the promise of a soulmate that may, in truth, be nothing more than a biological mechanism disguised as emotional destiny. The philosopher didn't say this to wound, but to awaken. He warned that the female instinct, though it doesn't come from disdain or cruelty, is programmed to seek protection, stability, continuity, that it often operates without the woman even being consciously aware of it, guided by the cold laws of natural selection, and that if a man doesn't understand this, if he keeps operating under the illusion that both genders love the same way, he will destroy himself, not because of her, but because he keeps expecting from her something she was never meant to provide. You didn't know. That's why you gave everything, your focus, your vital energy, your time, your vulnerability, believing that what you offered would be returned with the same depth, and when it wasn't, when you felt her grow cold, distant, disappear without clear explanation, the pain was unbearable, not just because you lost a person, but because the fantasy that had been holding you together suddenly collapsed. And it is precisely there in the heart of that void that this path begins. Because if you're reading this, if you felt that silent betrayal, if you've tasted the bitterness of giving everything and receiving only silence, then maybe you're ready to stop idealizing, ready to start seeing not from resentment but from clarity. When the illusion finally breaks, what remains isn't just pain, it's confusion, because you don't understand what happened. You thought you had done everything right. You were present, loyal, devoted. You gave her all you had without reservation, and yet she left or changed. Carl Jung wasn't like the people you hear online today. He didn't try to make people feel better with motivational speeches or pretty quotes. He didn't sugarcoat human nature. He went deep into the dark side of the mind, the part most people try to ignore, the part that runs our emotions, choices, and even our relationships without us realizing it. And when he looked at love, especially how women experience love, he found something most men don't want to believe, something most women don't even know they're doing. Jung said this: women don't just fall in love with a man, they fall in love with an idea of a man, a story, a fantasy, a version of you that they created inside their own minds, often without meaning to. Let that sink in. You think she saw you. You think she chose you. You think she finally picked you because of your values, your words, your energy. But no. What she fell in love with wasn't you. It was a dream version of you. One that lived in her imagination long before she ever met you. This version of you wasn't created by reality.
It was built by her past wounds, her hopes, her fears, and her childhood fairy tales. In her head, you were the man who would save her, fix her pain, make her feel safe, make her feel seen, make her feel complete. But you didn't sign up for that role. You didn't know there was even a script. You thought you were being loved for who you are, but you were being tested to see if you could match the fantasy she created. You can feel it in her eyes. Is it hope, or is it hunger? You think you're being seen. You're not. You're being scanned, measured, judged, like a blank canvas, waiting for her to paint the picture she wants to believe in. But here's the hard truth. That picture is not you. It never was. Jung's warning. You were never really chosen.